Hey, Chelsea, here with Chef Brian Efron with Carrabba's Italian Grill. Today, it's Fettuccine Weezie, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you got to tell us all about that.
All right, so it's going to be a fettuccine alfredo base with sauteed shrimp, mushrooms, lemon butter, and fresh scallions.
That just sounds good, and we haven't even started anything yet.
Well, it's good stuff.
Well, let's do it. Let's go ahead and jump right in, and let me ask you, for people who aren't familiar with Carrabba's or haven't been there, they're missing out on some good eats, right?
Oh, absolutely, my friend. Well, we're a scratch kitchen, so we use a wood-burning grill. We make all our sauces and dressings from scratch in-house. So it's just one of those places where, you know, we do it right and we start from the bottom up.
I like that. Anytime you hear the word fresh, you know it's a place you want to go and check out.
Yes, sir.
Love that. So Carrabba's, where are you guys located?
We're on Airport Boulevard, and we're just east of McGregor.
Wonderful. Okay, so you are right there in the right there in the heart of the city.
Yes, sir.
I-65.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Just a couple blocks off of the interstate.
Well, then it should be very easy for people to get there who haven't been to Carrabba's, and this is just one of the many dishes you guys have available.
Absolutely, and this is actually an extremely popular one, especially right now, you know, in the midst of Lent starting and all that good stuff, Fridays for seafood, all that good stuff. This is definitely a strong option.
So what's the first step in the process?
So the first step anytime you're doing any seafood or any protein dish is to properly season your protein. So we're going to use just a pinch of salt, a little bit of white pepper. I always like to use white pepper when we're doing seafood, just because it really sticks to the seafood.
And that's different than the regular pepper.
Well, you know, black pepper is a little more coarse. And so it's a lot of it falls off. So you'll find out that when you're like grilling chicken or grilling sirloins or something of that nature.
See, I never knew that.
You want to heavily season because you lose about half of it. So another important step is to make sure you get that oil nice and hot. You hear how it sizzles when the shrimp hit the pan?
I love that sound.
It's so important too. You know, I mean, that's kind of a staple for a reason. Helps you really get that sear on the end and keep from like poaching your seafood. Whereas that'll come out a little bit softer, a little squishier. We want a nice, firm kind of sear on the outside of our seafood.
Perfect.
All right, so we actually, once you put the shrimp in the pan, you kind of want to leave it alone for a minute. It'll allow it to brown on each side. The more you move it, the less color you get.
So the trick is, once you put it in, leave it.
There you go.
And you want to leave it for about how long?
So usually 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how hot you have your pan. So right here, you'll start to see a little color just on the side of the shrimps when it's about time to turn. But while we're waiting on that, we can go ahead and cut down a little bit of garlic that we're going to be adding to the pan as soon as those shrimp are done.
That always adds that nice little that flavor.
Oh, absolutely.
Really good juicy flavor when you put in that.
Well, and garlic is just kind of an Italian staple.
Right.
You know, it's one of those things that, you know, if you don't have garlic in your Italian food,
it's not really Italian.
I'm saying you're missing out. So you always want to do kind of a finer chop on garlic, unless you're doing something like spinach where you're using it as more of a display than an ingredient. So in this case, you would actually want to go over this quite a few times. So I have actually some pre-prepared, just for a little bit of TV magic. So that is the consistency that you're looking for.
Time efficiency.
Yes,
I like
sir.
that.
Hey, there we go.
What are the hours Carrabba's is open during the week?
We open every day at 11 a.m. And then Monday through Thursday we close at 10, Friday and Saturday at 11, and Sunday at 9.
Wonderful. So, and you guys have a website, social pages, right? Just search Carrabba's?
Yes, sir. Carrabba's Italian Grill, and you'll be able to find just about everything. It is Carrabbas.com, www.carrabbas.com. Then all our social media handles are Carrabba's Italian Grill, and some of us have city-specific. There is a Carrabba's Italian Grill Mobile Facebook as of right now.
Just for this city?
Yes, sir.
That's wonderful.
I know,
and you guys put all your specials on there and all that good stuff?
Absolutely, and we actually here in Mobile get to run some specials that you might not see in other parts of the country. So right now I'm actually doing some stuff like a seafood cannelloni. It's on only 10 locations in the country right now.
And Mobile's one?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
I know. Hey, we get to do lots of funny, exciting stuff around here.
Well, so that's one of the many reasons you got to make sure you follow their social pages. We are going to link all of that information to our website, fox10tv.com, under the Studio 10 tab. When we come back later in the hour, Brian, what's going to be next for us?
So next we're going to talk a little bit about properly cooking pasta. And then we're going to cut down some of our vegetables, get the sauce all up, and put it all together and throw it on the plate, my friend.
It's going to be awesome. We'll check back in with Brian in mere moments. Chelsea?
Welcome back. We are in the kitchen with Brian Efron from Carrabba's making some pasta, one of my favorites.
Yes, ma'am.
So we've got the scallop, we've got the shrimp and the mushrooms all seasoned, ready to go. What's the next step in this Fettuccine Weezie?
Well, it's actually one of the most important steps in a lot of Italian cooking, and that's properly cooking pasta. So we've got our water getting nice and hot over here. It's getting just up to kind of a rolling boil. So as it's getting hot, once it gets kind of up to the temperature we're looking for, we want to add about 1.5 ounces of salt, because we have just shy of a gallon.
Do you want me to go ahead and do that now?
You can go ahead and do that.
Alrighty, here we go. Woohoo! That's some thick salt.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we use
it.
a coarse salt just because it helps kind of stick to the food a little bit, and it gives a good presentation and a lot of flavor.
Awesome.
So as you see, it kind of clouds the water almost immediately. So then we're using fresh fettuccine. So when you use fresh pasta, it cooks a little bit faster, and you got to stir it a little bit more just to make sure it doesn't stick together.
We got the boil. The boil is coming. Okay.
There we go.
So I just need to pour this into these.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I may.
Go ahead. Hey, it's going into boiling water. You're not going to hurt anybody.
That's right. And I'm eating it. So
there you go.
Hey, lunch, brunch. That's what it is.
So to be fair, we are kind of using a little bit of restaurant magic with our fancy strainer over here. But here you are. You're going to want to break up those bundles.
Alrighty, and this is fresh pasta.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you guys make this in the store?
So we don't make this one particular in-house. We are going to be, there's been whispers of us moving to some house-made pastas here soon.
Awesome.
And I'm real excited about it.
I know, yeah, I definitely know you are. So Carrabba's is always busy. What's the latest going on with you guys?
We've got a lot of exciting stuff. We're actually delivering.
Wow.
So, yes, ma'am, we deliver straight to the house.
Okay.
So very similar to your average delivery service.
Right.
We deliver in 30 to 40 minutes, and it's only a $5 delivery fee.
And you don't have to go through a middleman.
No, ma'am.
You just call Carrabba's.
Yes, ma'am. It's our people delivering our food.
That's awesome. So while this fettuccine is boiling, we've got some green onion over here.
Yes, ma'am.
What are we going to do with that?
So we're just going to prep this for as you see, the kind of the topping that we're going to do on the on our Fettuccine Weezie.
Yeah.
Now, anytime you're dealing with fresh herbs or vegetables, you always kind of want to cut off that dry end. So generally, there's an exposed end, and as you can see, it gets some of those kind of dead, dry ends that you want to really avoid, because those have lost a lot of moisture, and hence they've lost a lot of flavor.
I'm learning so much already.
So when we're doing scallions, we want to do a real kind of thin cut.
And now, during the commercial break, you were sharpening your knife, which I was amazed at. So do you suggest a super sharp knife? Will that make your cut easier?
Always. Well, you know, there's a saying in restaurants and in kitchens.
Yeah.
It's you cut yourself more often with a dull knife than with a sharp knife.
Really?
Well, it's because you'll struggle with a dull knife, and you're more likely to make a mistake, slip, hurt yourself. So when you have a nice, clean, sharp knife, I mean, it's going to cut right through every time, and you're not going to have any issues.
Well, folks at home, you better get a sharp knife. I know I need to. I have a lot of dull knives, but I got to get a sharp one. So coming back with Michael, we're finishing all this up.
Yes, ma'am. So we're going to be kind of putting it all together, and we're going to get our Alfredo sauce nice and hot. We'll toss our pasta in with it, and then we'll kind of put it all together and do the topping and plating.
Yeah, so if somebody wants this for lunch, they can just go to Carrabba's at 11.
Yes, ma'am.
And go have it for lunch. I know I'll have it for lunch here in the studio.
There you go.
I'm super excited, but we'll be back with Michael finishing this up. But first, we got to check out our weather. Hey, Michael.
We're back in our Studio 10 kitchen with Chef Brian Efron, Carrabba's Italian Grill, finishing up the Fettuccine Weezie, and we've been doing a pretty good job with this so far. It looks like it's almost completed.
Yes, sir. It's all coming together now. We're actually just about to finish her up and put her on the plate. So the first thing we're going to do is take our pasta we've cooked off, just kind of throw it in the water, and we're just kind of shocking it back to life. So if you cook your pasta ahead of time, and it's had some time to cool, it's a good idea to throw it back in in the boiling water for just 30, 45 seconds, just to kind of bring it back to life.
A little revival for it.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
So now that we've got our sauce getting nice and hot, we've already got the cream, salt, white pepper, and Romano cheese in our sauce.
Okay.
So we're just going to drop the pasta right in. All right. Now, one of the kickers...
Oh, that smells good.
And you know, one of the kickers to making a real strong pasta dish, outside of just just making all the ingredients.
What's
is
that?
You want to toss the pasta in the sauce. As
Really?
opposed to just pouring the sauce over the top. When you throw it in the pan all together, get it all hot, and toss it around, it allows you to evenly coat your pasta, and it just gives a much broader, distribution of the flavors and allows you to create a better dish.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. If you pour the sauce over it, the top layers may get a pretty good dosing of the sauce. The bottom may not. But if you just throw it into the pan and you're doing the flipping of all the pasta at once, you do get that better distribution.
Well, and as you see, it's all completely coated, and that's one of the secrets to getting Carrabba's pasta just the way that we do it. So from right
And this
here,
is exactly how y'all make it in the restaurant.
Exactly, yes, sir. So we're going to take it right here, pile it on your plate. You always want to get it nice and tall if you can. All right. And we're going to finish it off with the shrimp, mushrooms. I've added our lemon butter sauce to this little mixture we got here. And from here, we're going to go ahead and drop that right over the top of our pasta. And then I brought us a spatula, because you see all that goodness we got in the pan there? That's the good stuff. That's where all your flavors sitting, all those seasonings.
All those juices and everything, yeah.
And all the seasoning you put on the shrimp, all the kind of flavors that come from the shrimp, and they all meld together in that pan like that. Now, once we've done that, it's a good idea for us to just go ahead and take these green onions we cut earlier and just drop them right over the top.
A nice little garnish.
And you got a Fettuccine Weezie, my friend.
And that's how you would serve it at the restaurant?
Yes, sir.
That is
And
perfect.
This is literally the one I made in the restaurant right before I came, and then here's the one that we
And it's almost a
present.
carbon copy.
Yes, sir.
So Carrabba's is going to be a place you want to check out if you have not already. In Mobile, it's at Airport and McGregor.
Yes,
so it's
sir.
near Bel Air Mall.
Yeah, well, it's just a couple blocks down from Bel Air Mall.
Perfect. And you guys have a deal we talked about during the commercial on Wednesdays. It's a pretty good one.
Yes, sir. So it's $10 pizzas and it's $10 off bottles of wine. And so, if you do the math there, if you buy a bottle of wine, it pretty much comes with a pizza.
If you're like me, you want to circle Wednesday in your calendars. Maybe make a little pit stop over toward Carrabba's. Brian, I appreciate you being on the show again.
Absolutely. It's a
Fantastic
pleasure.
stuff. And you can go to the Carrabbas.com, the website. Follow Carrabba's Italian Grill on social media.
Yes, sir.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And we will have, hopefully, Brian back on the show real soon.
I look forward to it.
Thanks a lot. And we'll put all the info on our website, fox10tv.com, under the Studio 10 tab. Chelsea and I will return to wrap up this edition of Studio 10 up next.